Hello, good evening, and welcome to Turf Moor for a bit of a special League Cup tie, fourth round of the FA Cup kick-off, just about 4 or 5 minutes away. Burnley against Manchester City from a deserted Turf Moor. We'll give you the two sides in a minute, but Burnley going into this game on the back of a very, very tough defeat against Southampton. Still no players in the window, but there are two familiar names in the starting lineup, which I'll touch on in a moment. As for Manchester City, they go into this game on the back of a surprising 4-1 defeat to Leicester on Sunday, which wasn't great, but they have responded with new signings and stuff. Burnley nowhere near to signing anybody else before the transfer window closes in just under 6 weeks' time. They've got a lot of problems ahead, the Clarets here tonight, but they've won. The two wins this season have both come in the Carabao Cup. They've beaten Millwall and Sheffield United. They drew with Sheffield United and won on penalties, but they beat Millwall very convincingly last week. Now we go again, Manchester City. So let's have a look at the Burnley lineup. Let me give you the Burnley lineup just very quickly. With Peacock, Farrell in goal, then it's Lawton, Long, Tarkowski, Taylor, McNeil, Brownhill, Westwood, Peters, Vidra and Barnes. On the bench it's Norris, Wood, Bardsley, Dunn, Benson, Goodridge and Glennon. For Manchester City, Stephen in goal, then it's Walker, Fernandinho, Laporte and Mendy. Then it's De Bruyne, Rodri, Sterling, Mahrez, Torres and Palmer. On the bench for the City, which is quite a strong bench actually, Edison, Ake, Silva, Foden, Delap, Doyle and Harwood Bellis. Referee comes from Huddersfield, that's Andy Madley. Two assistants are Eddie Smart and Ian Houston, and the fourth official is the Clive Thomas of modern football, Mike Dean, from Merseyside as opposed to South Wales, where Clive Thomas was once a resident there back in the day. We're just waiting for the teams now to emerge from the tunnel. Won't be too long away in coming. So Tarkowski and Barnes back in the side. That's massive positivity. So hopefully start getting one or two injuries back. 3 or 4 new bodies in. Tonight really isn't that important really for Burnley. Really in the context of it, the league's obviously the priority. They'd love to get 4 into the quarterfinals. They are bidding, if they were to be successful tonight, the Clarets, they would be the first team to beat Manchester City first of all for the first time in 3 years. They'll be the first team to defeat Manchester City. And secondly, they have not been to this stage of the competition, the quarter-final stage, since 2009 when they reached the semi-finals. Manchester City going for their precedented 4th success in a row under Pep Guardiola, who's really made this competition his own since coming to England 4 years ago. Really has been on a purple patch. They won in 2018, 2019. They won it again last year. They've got the hat-trick of triumphs. They're going for the quadruple, trying to emulate what the early Liverpool side of the early 80s when they won it in 81, 82, 83 and 84 as well. So incentives are afoot for Manchester City this evening. We're just waiting. Waiting for everything to get going, and then we'll be able to start the commentary. But Turf Moor looking okay, Nick, for tonight's game. I think this will be a very good game to enjoy and watch and all that sort of thing. Now, of course, keep your comments coming in, and naturally keep your comments clean. We announced this stream about 2 o'clock this afternoon. At the moment we're not getting any pictures through. They're still messing around with the IPL, which I think is dreadfully disgraceful. Should be all about the football now. We're about to kick off in a minute. We want to bring you audio commentary, and even the Gremlins now, they won't. Even the Gremlins are not playing ball now. Not that we're suffering from any Gremlins tonight. It's just they're not. They need to switch it over. We do have we are waiting to start the commentary. As soon as that comes about, we'll start bringing you it now. But those are the two sides. As I'm looking out to you now, and should be an absolute cracker of a game here this evening. I'm not interested in what's happening there, but I'm interested in what's happening elsewhere. We're just waiting. It's a bit of a, we trust these people to get the, typical. I mean, everybody's laptop's got the Burnley game in it round the stadium. We're stuck with IPL, which is great for cricket. I'm not interested in IPL. I don't mind my stream having my thing. We're looking at a cricket game at the moment when we should be looking at a football match. So we're having one or two difficulties at the moment. I know for a lot of people they might like this sort of thing. I don't. I'm a football man, first and foremost. But we're willing to be able to get the game going, and hopefully we'll have all the action for you. But unfortunately, we're having one or two technical issues, and we can't get anything at the moment. We are trying, but at the moment they don't seem to be playing ball. I can only think our technical person is an IPL cricket fan. This is not looking good at all. We haven't got anything at the moment to bring you, and it's a frustration because we're wanting to bring you live action, and we can't bring you any live action yet because out of other people's control. It's just a joke. But Burnley against Manchester City, and it was supposed to be the tie of the round. We've advertised it as the tie of the round, and at the moment it's. I put a lot of effort into getting this sorted out, and unfortunately we got the old gremlins striking once again. This is the problem with live broadcasts. We're ready to go. Well, I'm all set. I'm all prepped and ready to go. And unfortunately we've hit a bit of a problem, so hopefully we can get that problem fixed. It is a bit of a frustration when you're trying to get the football. You want the football and you're getting a different thing entirely. We are having one or two, as I say, technical problems. We will get them fixed. Hopefully we won't have missed any goals. I don't want to see 4s and 6s. I want to see a football match, and at the moment we are not. It's not happening at the moment. We're having absolute difficulties bringing you the football at the moment. We're supposed to be bringing you the football. At the moment, what's coming through on my monitor is completely is nothing like I was expecting, and it's turning into a real farce at the moment. But hopefully we'll have it sorted out very, very soon. Russ is trying to get me to sort something out now. I'm going to stick with this for 2 or 3 minutes, and hopefully we'll have some football for you. The game's just been underway for about 3 or 4 minutes. Hopefully now we'll. I mean, it is a joke when you have to wait for a cricket game to finish before you can get it all sorted out. Hi Russ, I am trying to sort things out at the moment. It's very difficult when you're trying to sort about 20 things out while you're broadcasting, as you can imagine. Let me just check BBC at the moment. let me check out BBC. We're having, as I said, we're having one or two difficulties at the moment. I can tell you that Newport are winning at the moment. They're leading Newcastle. So at the moment, so Newport nil. 2 minutes gone in the Burnley match, and our what should be our featured live match. Unfortunately, we're being able to bring it to you for whatever reason or another. It is a frustration, I will say that. And as soon as we get any it seems to me that this stream is that we managed to get. We thought it was a good stream. They'll be getting whoever's put an IPO on my monitor. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to feed it a Burnley match. I'm not doing the Chennai Super Kings. I'm doing Burnley against Manchester City, or at least I thought I was. It's 0-0. They've kicked off at the turf. Still 0-0. Any goals that go in, hopefully there won't be any goals that go in early doors. So I'm hoping that no one scores in the opening few seconds. We're having, as I said, we're having difficulties. We're going to try and get these gremlins sorted out. They're still insisting on putting a cricket on at the moment. You know, you're in the lap of the gods with these gremlins. Now then, let's try this out. Been given an alternative by one of my staff, Mr. Vernon. Hopefully we'll have that. We might be in for a little bit of luck there if it works. And we are live. We've lost 5 minutes of action, but we're up. We've got the game. So Burnley Man City, so we can resume commentary. So we can resume commentary now with Burnley Manchester City. Thank God. Thank you very much indeed, Ross Verdon. See, he's a valuable member of the crew. Right, we've lost 6 minutes of commentary because of some technical gremlins, but I can tell you that it's 0-0. Let me just recap the two teams. I've just seen a picture with Pep Guardiola there. Sean Dyche, the Burnley manager. Purposely said, got in this competition is the last 16. They lost to West Ham back in 2013. Here's Barry Peacock Farrell in goal. Auburn Leeds man. Pulled off a couple of really good saves against Millwall last week. Players meaning superb form for Northern Ireland as well. So let me just check that Burnley side very quickly. We'll just break off for a second because Burnley are in possession now. Apologies for the late start on the commentary, but we are now back in it as Stefan takes possession. So Peacock Farrell in goal, low turn long, Tarkowski and Taylor. So Tarky comes in for his first appearance at the back. Then it's Dwight McNeil, Brownhill, Westwood and Peters, with Bridra and Ashley Barnes, his first appearance for quite some time up front. On the bench, Norris, the goalkeeper, Wood, Bardsley, Jimmy Dunn, Josh Benson, Mace Goodridge and Anthony Glennon. Here come Manchester City here, number 21, Torres. Torres on the right hand side. Torres cuts inside. We'll give Manchester City's squad in a second. They're starting allowing up plus substitutes in a second whilst Ashley Barnes gets possession. Burnley have gone out the FA Cup on several occasions in recent years to Manchester City. The last victory of any real note in a cup tie was 1973 Charity Shield, and City were beaten 1-0 at the Old Main Road by Colin Waldron goal for Burnley. That's the last time they won a last league game. Here's a chance though for Mahrez breaking into the penalty area, but Matt Lawton gets across and gets it away for Burnley. So let me just run through that Manchester City lineup once again as that ball's played back to goalkeeper Stefan, and that's his name. Stefan's in goal, and then it's Walker, Fernandinho, Laporte and Mendy, the back four, and then it's De Bruyne, Rodri, Sterling with Mahrez, Torres and Palmer further forward. On the bench, Edison, Ake, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Delap, Doyle and Harwood Bellis as the ball is swept in there and just wide inside the penalty area. I think it might have been Palmer inside the 6-yard area who stabbed it wide from 6 yards. And a little bit of a let-off there for Burnley. Ball was played down the right-hand side. It was a wonderful cross. I think Palmer may have been just a smidgen offside there as that ball was whipped in. Ball was played in. Should have been finished off better than that, but in fact it wasn't. It was Raheem Sterling, sorry, who's tapped that wide. But I think he would have been a smidgen offside. Burnley win a 3 kick inside the City half, about 20 yards inside. Ashley Barnes, yeah, had a bit of physical presence. Played for the under-23s last week, Ashley, and certainly has proved his fitness enough. And Tarkowski's come back from a toe, which is told from a stub toe. So that tells you all you need to know, really. As the 3 kick is swapped in there towards Ashley Barnes, who steals in but misses his kick from about 7 or 8 yards out. That was a big opportunity, that, for Burnley. It was a wonderful idea of a free kick floated in there, and Barnes just couldn't get in there quick enough to stop the ball and test the goalkeeper Stefan, and that would have been a great start for the Clarets if they'd have managed to get that opening goal. But they've beaten Millwall. Newport are still winning against Newcastle. That's still going on at the moment. Any changes in the score? They've played 79 minutes. There was another 2 games kicking up at 7:45. We'll just break off for a second because City are on the attack again. The shot comes in and it's just wide. I think it was Rodri with the shot from outside the penalty area with the right foot. It was Rodri. Hit it right-footed. I think Peacock Farrell may have had that covered. Let's have a look. Gets it out of his feet. There's the shot. Yeah. Just wide. I'm not sure if Peacock Farrell had it covered. So let me just give you a reminder. Newport 1, Newcastle 0. The Newport scorer is Abrahams. Scored after 5 minutes. And Newcastle, who last reached his final in 1976. That wait for the final may well be continuing at the moment at Rodney Parade. Newport 1, Newcastle 0. Newcastle scored 8 in the last round against Morecambe. Looks like the Cup Kings of Newport are at it again. 7:45 kickoffs. We've got Burnley. We've got Brighton against Manchester United, and Everton against West Ham as well. And we've had 1 or 2 again. We've got technical faults. 1 or 2 technical issues once again. We've just got into the commentary as well, which is a shame. Hopefully we can get that gremlin fixed, and we have done. That's a successful fix there. Just to remind you, if you've joined us late, Mark's on. Hiya Mike, come on Burnley. He's a Burnley fan. Who let those gremlins out? Well, the good news for Burnley tonight is that Tarkowski and Barnes start. Your favourite player, Mike. I know you like a bit of Ashley Barnes. Anyway, back to the game, and here's a chance now for Manchester City as Mahrez can't keep that in play, and it's a goal kick to Burnley. But I thought it was a goal kick. I thought that had gone out of play. The referee's obviously not seen it, or the linesman's not seen it, and it's play on. And here's Rodri now for Manchester City. Gets it into possession, and now the ball over to the far side. Burnley will look to try and exploit City every time they can. You can. I know, but he's a good striker though. He's a good finisher. One thing you can't deny. But Arsenal will in fact play Liverpool tomorrow. Yeah, so it's Brighton Manchester United at 7:45, and it's Everton West Ham as well. So lots to bring you here on the JB Claret YouTube channel, and of course we'll have Premier League action. One game I can definitely tell you that we'll be covering is on Sunday night, and that is the clash between between Aston Villa and Liverpool. First look at the new champions as the ball is stabbed towards goal, and Peacock Farrell diving away to his left with a stop to right foot, a shot from going in the near post by Raheem Sterling. 13 minutes gone here. We had 1 or 2 technical issues which delayed the start of the commentary, but we are now up and running again. Yeah, I think anyone would ditch those 2 really. certainly on FIFA or Football Manager or PES. Here's Laporte now for Manchester City, down the left hand side, number 72 here. And in fact it was 22, sorry, Mendy was making the break. Then into Sterling, and then it's gone out of play once again. Good running up from Mendy down the near side. Sterling trying to get in there. And yeah, it was in fact it was a left-footed shot. Looking at the near camera angle there. And again, another good save by former Leeds man Bailey Peacock Farrell. No Nick Pope in the 16. Be saved up for the Premier League. Still Burnley's undisputed number 1, Nick Pope. But Bailey Peacock Farrell is wearing number 15 tonight. It's Vidra and Barnes up top. They have Chris Wood in reserve, just in case things might go a little right at some point. This is Mendy now, number 22. Plays it back in field. And here's Boyd once again. And yeah, George Boyd, you'll get a lot of mileage out of him down at Stevenage, Mike. He's a very good player. Was Mr. Consistency at Burnley, and of course he's in fact he was the last man to score a winning goal against Manchester City in any competitive game. Now 2015, March 2015, George Boyd struck on 60 minutes that night, and for about a week we were buzzing off that result. So there you go. A very good player, and his work rate is still very much never been in question. And as a Burnley fan, oh, in your game, I thought you were getting him in real life. Anyway, there's been a goal down at Rugby Parade, as Russ is reporting. He's doing a bit of reporting for me down there. He's covering that game for a couple of websites. And John Joe Shelby has just equalised for Newcastle. It's 1-1 between Newport and Newcastle, and we're 3 minutes. They're 3 minutes away from penalties, and we'll let you know. We'll let you know what happens in that as we go along. As the ball is swept in, and again, Kevin Long getting back there for Burnley. Stop the crossing from Mendy. De Bruyne's after that one, but Welton just hoops it down that right hand side for Vidra to chase. Stefan sort of up and unders it. Didn't get too much purchase, but it fell for a City player. And then Vidra's on to win the next ball deep inside Manchester City territory. 16 minutes gone on the JB Claret, on the JB Sports channel. Sorry, we've got to be heard by JB Sports, not JB Claret. We're using the old name for tonight. I don't know why. That's surely going to be a foul there on Vidra, and referee Madley is not interested. Well, Burnley were victims of one or two dodgy refereeing decisions on Saturday night. You may remember when we were here for the game between Southampton, themselves and Southampton. I still believe that was pushed over, and it should have been a penalty. And I still believe there would have been. I still think there was a little bit of discrepancy on the disallowed equalising goal. I think that should have stood as well, but each to their own. Anyway, here's Lowton now for Burnley. Fires it to Dwight McNeil. McNeil started out on the right, I believe, and it means Eric Peters is going to go down the left, which is going to make the left-hand side that little bit more slower in terms of pace and power. It means Kyle Walker will have a little bit of joy. Burnley win a free kick midway inside the half, midway down the field. It's Fernandinho who's the captain tonight. I think Westwood's still captain, is he? Yeah, he's still got the captain's armband on, so Westwood keeps the captaincy, despite the fact that Tarkowski's back in the starting lineup and Ashley Barnes. So Ashley Westwood keeps the captaincy. Fernandinho is leading Manchester City this evening. Aguero in the side. To assistants, incidentally, are Eddie Smart and Ian Usen, and Mike Dean's the fourth official. Here's Peters on the far side. He goes down. The referee had a good look and says, "Get up." Well, I've got to say, I think that's a penalty. Andy Madley has said no. I think it was Taylor, in fact, who made the break. Here it is now, and I'm sure that was a foul. Looked a penalty to me. I don't think Taylor's the sort to go down that easy. That's a poor decision, I believe, from the referee. Here's Brownhill trying to lay the ball into the City penalty area. Good little spell this for the Clarets. They're fighting with a bit more determination. Maybe having Barnes and Tarkowski might just help. Meanwhile, there's a chance here for City on the break. This could really be trouble. Great save from Peacock Farrell. Great save from the right foot of Sterling by Peacock Farrell. Looked to all the while it was 1-1. It looked as if City were going to score, but they didn't reckon on the Irishman there, making a magnificent save to keep Burnley in the game. Good goalkeeping, but Burnley should have had a penalty, in my opinion, at the other end. Burnley attacking the goal to our right, incidentally, the cricket field stand, and they should have had a penalty at that end. No doubt about it. 19 minutes gone on the JB Sports YouTube channel. Coming to you from the Turf Moor. We go to Villa Park on Sunday. That's a confirmed live match. We'll be on the air around about 10 to 7 at Villa Park, as we take our first look at the reigning champions. Hopefully we'll have a Saturday game to bring you to, and we'll announce those a couple of days beforehand as the ball is swept in there and it goes through. Hiya Nutty Back plays games. I think I've just about made that out. But nice to see you, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you would like to, please subscribe, hit the notifications, then you know when we're going to be on next. Here's De Bruyne now on halfway for Manchester City. Steps inside now, and there's 6 minutes at a time. I'm being told by Russ, my roving reporter down there at Rodney Parade, that they've played 2 of the 6 minutes. That's hurtling rapidly now towards a penalty shootout. I should also remind you guys that if it's a draw after 90 minutes, no extra time, it goes straight to penalties. Here's a chance now for Matty Vydra. Vydra with a shot just wide of the goal. With the right foot, he must have been about 20 yards from goal, maybe a bit more than that. Struck it to the left of centre, right-footed. Had Stefan scampering across to his left-hand side, but the ball just went wide of the right-hand post. And it remains Burnley 0, Manchester City 0. And we've got he's a Manchester City supporter. Well, I'm actually a Claret supporter. I'm actually a Burnley fan, but I am trying to be as unbiased as I can. It's not easy, but they are my local team, Burnley. But Man City, well, I don't know how you felt after that Leicester result. It was a big coupon buster. I know Leicester were a good side, but when you think City are at the Etihad, you think on their own patch. You think a win is the more logical outcome to any sort of thing, but it wasn't in that case. Meanwhile, it's elsewhere, still penalties, and we'll bring you first half updates of the 2 7:45 games at Brighton and at Everton as they play Manchester United and West Ham respectively. Winners will go into the quarterfinals, which take place not now until December, as the ball now is played out to the far side and City comes charging forward again. Good block there by Charlie Taylor. He was found wanting on the winning goal scored by Ings for Southampton on Saturday night. We're halfway through the first half if you joined us late. Burnley Peacock Farrell has made a couple of nice saves, both to deny Raheem Sterling, who's had the 2 or 3 best chances for City thus far, and of course we've seen Vydra go close. Burnley could have had a penalty for a clear foul on Taylor, but referee Andy Madley, in his intelligence, in his wisdom, didn't give it, as the corner comes in towards the near post from the far side by Manchester City, but it's cleared away by the Clarets, and the ball is now with Sterling. The ball is now with Torres playing the ball forward, and now a chance for Barnes to get it over to Peters, and Peter gets it forward. And Jeff Henrik is an unused sub apparently at Rodney Parade. He'd be in the Burnley team if he was still playing for them now. I think that was a travesty letting Jeff Henrik go. Good player that we signed for about 8 million and we let him go for free. I think the ball could have done more. No Dale Stevens, incidentally, still trying to obviously he had to play pretty early on in his Burnley career. What usually happens is when a player signs for Burnley, he's given a couple of weeks to bed in and then he's thrown into the team. Unfortunately, Dale Stevens didn't have that option because of lack of numbers and the injury list that Burnley had at the time. There's still 5 players on the casualty list. 2 have returned. Barnes, who felt he should have had a free kick there midway inside the City half, and this will be a nice little running battle between him and Kyle Walker tonight. Fairly deserted turf war here this evening, as it is up and down the country because of the Dragonian COVID-19 restrictions. As the ball is threaded in there's a chance here for City. Oh, it's over the top. It was 21 Torres. Ferran Torres got in behind, right footed and over the top. And yes, he was onside as that ball was chipped in by De Bruyne. Should have done better. It was a nice little ball over the top from Kevin De Bruyne, which got him behind the Burnley defence. They've had 2 shots on target, City. Burnley have yet to hit the target, but have come close a couple of times. A couple of shots going narrowly wide off the post. Should have had a penalty. They're not playing too badly at the moment. Here's Westwood in possession, midway inside the City half. Now, if we can get the likes of Brownhill and Westwood in that midfield to get the battles won. Brownhill, very industrious player, but he runs into traffic. And here come Manchester City again, leading the line with De Bruyne. They can't get it past Tarkowski, and his positional sense there was first rate. Now Dwight McNeil now in possession. Dwight reckons it should have been a penalty. I think so too, Mike. I think Fernandinho takes him out for me, but as you say, if you're not a fashionable side, you don't usually get those given. But I have to say, in all fairness to the referee, I think he had a very good view of the situation, and I think he should have used his a bit more common sense than it was needed to be, than he did, and it was a despicable decision to say the least. Burnley should have had a penalty there, but still, it remains goalless. Burnley having to do a little bit of defending. Peters winning the ball well, but he's giving it straight to Rodri, who's come close himself with a long-range 25-yard effort. And here is the ball forward, and here comes Torres again. Still Torres cutting in from the left-hand side, and now the ball's won by Matty Vidra. On to Dwight McNeil. McNeil now through the centre. We'll bring you up to date with the penalties. Barnes was offside, and McNeil was a little bit frustrated there, but it was a lovely bit of skill there from Dwight McNeil. And it's finished 1-1, I believe, down at Newport, so they're going to penalties. Newcastle, who never won this competition. They last got to the final 1976. They were actually beaten by Burnley's opponents that day, Manchester City. Here's a chance for De Bruyne in the area. Good save again by the goalkeeper. In fact, it wasn't. It was Palmer. Palmer with the shot. Got into a great position there, Palmer. But the big frame of Burnley Peacock Farrell denied him, and Burnley are still at parity, still 0-0 at the turf. City have come close on a couple of occasions now. 27 minutes gone, still 0-0, thanks to the heroics so far of Burnley Peacock Farrell. If he plays like that tonight, then Nick Pope may have to look over his shoulder at the moment. Here's Mendy now for City, still inside the Burnley half of the field. Here's Lowton to get it away. Uses Tarkowski, who uses his goalkeeper. So Peacock Farrell. Oh, what a nice little turn there. The confidence the Northern Irish the former Leeds goalkeeper's got, is unbelievable. Great bit of skill there to dummy the City player. 28 gone. Burnley 0, Manchester City 0. Carabao Cup 4th round. Our first Carabao commentary of the season, and the ball played in there towards Raheem Sterling, but Kevin Long does a magnificent shielding job, and a goal kick it is to Burnley. City Well, this was a big chance for Palmer. Got through into a very good position, and in the end he hit it straight at the goalkeeper, and he won't have been too pleased about that. So it remains 0-0. A couple of Burnley fans on Facebook saying Peacock Farrell's having a blinder. I wouldn't disagree with that. He's having a magnificent game. Stefan, in comparison, in fairness, in the all pink jersey, away to my right, hasn't had too much to do. Don't forget 2 other games kicking off at 15 minutes from now. One at the Amex Stadium between Brighton and Manchester United, and the other at Goodison Park between Everton and West Ham United. Newcastle out on penalties at the moment at Rodney Parade, and we'll try and find out what's going on in the shootout in just a second or two, as the ball was played back towards Raheem Sterling from Mendy's pass, but he's lost possession. Burnley bring it away through Eric Peters, and Peters wins the 3 kick, but Raheem Sterling having good glimpses here, and we'll keep you up to date with the shootout at the moment. John Joe Shelby scoring. Cole Palmer is his actual name, who had that save. My Peacock Farrell. As soon as we know what's happened at Rodney Parade, we will bring it to you. But we'll keep you abreast of what's going on there. But they're about to have the penalties at the moment. So it's 1-1 as we stand. Wilson has just taken his, and Mickey Dimitri has just equalised. So currently that's what's happening at the moment. Any updates? So we'll keep you abreast anyway what's going on. Russ is there for us tonight. He forgot to bring his headphones, so he's having to do it by a text message. Oh, we are technically gifted at JB Sports. We do this on virtually no budget, and we still get the subscribers and viewers. It's nice, isn't it? Anyway, penalties in progress down at Rodney Parade. Everton kick off at 7:45 against West Ham. So too do Brighton down at Manchester United, down at home to Manchester United. Free kick taken maybe too quickly now. 2-1 apparently now. Abraham's. I don't understand that one, Russ, but as Joe Linton missed, so it must be 2-1 to the Welsh side then. Has to be 2-1. It looks like to Newport if Joe Linton has missed for Newcastle. Burnley, in fact, in this game at the moment, it's 2-1 to Newport. Right, well, that's better. 1-2, it seems like it's going Newcastle's way then for a second, Russ. Anyway, doesn't matter. 31.5 minutes gone. Burnley have got a free kick in a very promising position. And the ball's floated into the penalty area, but it can't find anyone else. Barnes then takes it on the chest, tries the shot, and the shot got a deflection, and it will be a Claret's corner. Better from Burnley. Barnes there just getting in there. Header only halfway. Kenta Barnes there, right-footed, and that might have been going places, but for the deflection. So Burnley now, if I can get their noses in front, albeit against the run of the play. Wow, what a feather in the cap it could be. And it's going to be McNeil, I think, from the inside. He takes the corners normally on the right hand side. 32 minutes gone, and looking for a spare ball, which Dwight McNeil has found on one of the tees, one of the several tees spread around the ground, so that ball's going to be put back into play straight away. It replaces the old ball boy, so we super social distancing and COVID-19 reasons. McNeil's corner into the penalty area. It goes towards the far post, and Burnley weren't far off from getting ahead on that at the back post. Good corner that from Dwight McNeil. Still 2-1. Mike and Russ doing a very good double shift down there in Wales tonight for us. And nice to have them with us. We haven't heard from Trevor yet this evening. I'm sure we'll hear from him at some point. Don't forget, Trevor Sports tomorrow evening. Match of the day. Rossi's on it. So too is Trevor. I've got the week off. So I'm doing some I'm doing some overtime here on JB Sports to make up for the lack of dulcet tones on Trevor's channel for a week or so. And but I'll be back there, don't you worry. You can't do without the Motson for more than a week, that's for sure. Not that I'm bragging, Trevor, if you're listening. Here's Charlie Taylor that kicks it in on the far side corner quadrant to my left. Newport have had a good one. It's now gone to 4-4 down at Newport. They're now into sudden death down there, and as soon as we find a winner down there, I'll bring you it first here on JB Sports, because we like to be ahead of the game. We like to be ahead of 5 Live and the commercial op at Talk Sport and Oracle Radio and everything else. We like to be first with everything because we're competitive that way. Anyway, it's a corner throw into Manchester City. Mendy's cross was charged down by Matt Lawton. He's had a decent game thus far at right back. Sorry. If you joined us late, Raheem Sterling's come close a couple of times. Barnes has come close. Vidra's shot wide. Taylor should have won a penalty for Burnley at 0-0. As the ball is knocked in there to Mendy, and that is the opening goal, and it is Raheem Sterling. Thrashes it in with his right foot, with his left foot, and not even the brilliant Burnley Peacock Farrell was going to get to that one. Again, it was an outlet down the left-hand side, which did for Burnley this time, although Mendy does look a little bit suspiciously offside. Take nothing away from the finish of Raheem Sterling. It's a fantastic finish. I think Tarkowski could have been out a bit more quicker to that. Really was rank defending really from Burnley. No chance for Peacock Farrell. And Burnley fall behind at Turf Moor again. Pep Guardiola's team in front with 10 minutes to go to half time. It's not looking good for Burnley, which is, apart from a couple of unconvincing Carabao Cup wins, have not looked at all themselves. It's been a wretched start for Burnley to the season, and it's another appalling evening for the Clarets this at the moment. 1-0 down to the holders of the Carabao Cup. Burnley have to get on their bike here. I think they are missing the 12th man in these circumstances, and they would have had the 12th man. It's Mendy and Lawton almost had a little bit of a set to there. Lawton just gets the ball off the tee, and it's a throw into Burnley on the near side. And Newcastle, I think, have gone through 5-4 on penalties. Sterling had 3 opportunities before that, and Burnley really didn't heed the warning. Meanwhile, they've got a free kick over on the near side there, Burnley, so there's still half a chance of something positive happening there. Just we've had a little bit of a problem again with the thing. It didn't come to much anyway, the free kick. Burnley have had 2 shots on target compared to City's 8, and as the shot comes in there, I think it was Barnes? Yeah, it was. Barnes shooting way over the top in the end. Newcastle through 5-4, so Newport are out. It has been a little bit disappointing that Burnley really, again, they just don't seem to be playing to their full potential. So I'm not telling, well, I'm just doing the commentary. Please, any questions like that, don't ask. It's all about the game. Here's Peters on the far side. Walker tugs him down, and that has to be a Burnley 3 kick, surely. Clara Happiness, hello, hiya Clara. Are you a man? Okay, fair enough. Rude. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm not being rude. I'm there to commentate and entertain. Anyway, it's a 3 kick to Burnley. Far side. Brownhill's forward. Tarkowski's forward. Vidra's in there. Can Burnley get that equaliser? Ball played in towards the area. Stefan didn't get a good purchase on the punch, and Burnley still might keep it alive. Stefan had to punch a second time, and then Lawton keeps it alive. The ball's knocked forward by Peters, and now, oh, that looked a foul. That looked a foul inside the area. The referee's not giving it. I can't believe this referee. Burnley should have had 2 clear penalties there. That looked a complete, utter clear push. And Andy Manley's not giving any of them. Disgraceful refereeing. And City at the other end could make it 2, but they don't. Maybe justice is done in that respect. But Burnley should have had 2 penalties in this first half. It's a disgrace from Andy Madley, the referee. They give a free kick for a similar foul, but that was a clear penalty. Watch this. Walker shoves McNeil to the ground. This is a penalty. It's 100% penalty. How on earth can Andy Madley not spot that? That is pathetic. Hang your head in shame, referee. Oh my days. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. I don't know where to get these referees from. They need to start getting their acts together, because some of the refereeing in this country at the moment this season has been far from satisfactory. Free kick to Burnley. Should have had a penalty. In fact, they should have had 2 penalties. Turner was fouled, McNeil was fouled, and Andy Madley, whatever planet he was on, he wasn't on planet Earth when he decided to not give them. Oh, dearie me. Tell you what, if there was 20,000 carrots in the ground, they would be lynching the guy. That's a penalty. The 2 clear penalties. There we go again. I don't know if Pep's playing the man playing the referee or not. I'm not accusing him of anything, but come on, if it had been for Manchester City, he would have given those no trouble. This referee, Mike said, is a joke. How can you not give 2 clear penalties? Then you see a challenge exactly like that, and Burnley get a free kick midway inside their own half. I just don't understand the refereeing logics. 2 clear pushes inside the City penalty area, and the referee sees fit to give them, when doesn't seem fit to give them. I just don't understand it. It's to be honest, criminal. Still 1-0 to Manchester City, but Burnley now should have not had 1 but 2 clear penalties. They do have possession with Westwood, and then he turns into trouble. Burnley do get possession and halfway with Tarkowski up towards Westwood, and then he has to go back to the brilliant Bailey Peacock foul. He's been Burnley's player of the match thus far. We've got the man of the match vote coming up for you in the second half. It'll be JBMLTM. Just remind you that Newcastle have gone through 5-4 and penalties after a 1-1 draw after 90 against Newport County, who had led for so long. Abraham scored the goal early doors, and then John Joe Shelby equalised. We've got 2 games kicking off at 7:45. One at the Amex Stadium, where Brighton take on Manchester United, and of course down up at Goodison Park, of course, on Merseyside, where Everton, who in fact I think they might be my dark horses, my tip to win the League Cup this season from a neutral's point of view, although I'd love Burnley to win it this year as well, but if I was to pick a winner of the Cup, I'd certainly go for Everton. They look a sensational outfit under Ancelotti, and I've seen them a couple of times this season and away from the mic, and I've been impressed on times I've seen them play, and I've seen them play a couple of occasions, and I've been impressed each time with their work rate, dedication. And you look at players like Calvert-Lewin, who hit the ground running, and really has been they are a sensational outfit. They've spent a lot of money, but Ancelotti knows how to get the best out of any team. As Mendy gets away on the near side, I don't think Spurs should be in the competition. I think they're going through by default, as the shot comes in from Sterling, right-footed, and turned away again by Bailey Peacock foul, and out for a throw into Manchester City, more or less level with the Burnley 18-yard line on the far side. But it's them 2 in tandem again that are causing the Clarets a lot of problems. It's a comfortable save actually for Bailey Peacock Farrell. It's 1-0 to Manchester City with 3 minutes to go, 2 minutes to go, plus stoppage time for half time. We will be back with you for the second half, and We'll give you a little bit of an update as well. Be nice to see someone other than Manchester City in the final. I'd like to see a different name on the trophy, but City are still a very good side. Remember, they were beaten 5-2. They deserve to be in front on balance and statistics, but they could have had a second one there. Ball came in towards the back post, and once again Peacock Farrell denied. I think it's Torres coming in at the back post. Here comes the cross. Torres is onside as he comes in. Might have hit the outside of the post actually. Yep, Peacock Farrell would have had it covered in any case, but it's certainly hit the outside of the post there from young Torres. And a goal kick it is to Burnley. He'll be quite frustrated. I'm sure Sean Dyche will have one or two words to say to the referee at half time. But that's 3 cast iron penalties in 2 games, 1 in the league and 1 tonight, that Burnley should have had. But the officials, one way or another, have not been seen fit. I wonder if he's been getting refereeing tips off our 4th official, Mike Dean, who's one of the worst referees in the country, but still gets top jobs in the Premier League. It's a joke, really. Mahrez has not kept that in on the far side. 30 seconds plus normal time. But if there were Burnley fans here, I'm just saying Andy Madley would be public enemy number 1 as far as I'm concerned, because how can you not fail to spot 2 clear pushes? And it just boggles the mind, but there you go. It means, that's football for you. We've played the 45 minutes. We're going to have just the 1 added minute from Mr. Dean. And the problem with I don't know if this referee is a FIFA approved official. If he is, maybe FIFA won't have a good look at him before being in charge of any FIFA games or European matches, because I don't think he's up to the standard that I would expect from a FIFA approved official. Meanwhile, City comes charging forward. We have Mahrez into the penalty area. Mahrez still in the penalty area. Good tackle that from James Tarkowski. Did really well, and then Peters can get it away on the far side. Wins his team a throw in, or does he? No, he doesn't. Burnley got so unbalanced down that left hand side, and Eric Peters, why he's in the team, I do not know. He should be nowhere near the team. He was captaining them at Millwall last week. He shouldn't even got the captaincy. Meanwhile, it's Sterling inside the penalty area. Danger here for Burnley. Side netting from Raheem Sterling. He should have had 5 in the first half alone. We've played the 1 minute. I'm sure there'll be no more. Indeed, there's not. But Sean Dyche will be seething at half time. Burnley should have had 2 clear penalties. City have certainly busted as far as chances created and possession is concerned, and they're in front. And a lot of people will say that they deserve to be, but in my opinion, Burnley should have had 2 clear penalties. 1 for a foul on Charlie Taylor, another for a clear foul on Dwight McNeil, not spotted, and Sean Dyche will be furious with them. But the positive really is Burnley Peacock Farrell. He's made a series of excellent saves, and Burnley have still got a chance of salvaging something out of this game and maybe taking it to penalties. They're not out of it yet, but it's City who lead by a 1-0 at the break here at a very sparsely populated Turf Moor. It's all to play for in the second half, but Burnley will count themselves a bit annoyed with the referee at this moment in time. But as the teams make their way off, we're going to take a 10-minute break here at the Turf, and we'll be back to you as soon as possible, and we'll have goal flashes from the first half of the 7:45 kickoffs before we leave you around about quarter to nine this evening. But at half time here at Turf Moor, it's Burnley 0, Manchester City 1 in the Carabao Cup. See you in 10 minutes. Welcome back to Turf Ball, where we're going to see a half-time substitution for Burnley. Chris Wood is about to come on. Everton have taken the lead against West Ham, as you can see. Dominic Calvert-Lewin continuing his fantastic run of form as Manchester City look to come out again in time for the second half. Still 1-0. We're just waiting for City to enter the field. And of course for their skipper Fernandinho. They're going to be defending the McElroy end away to my left in the second half. And they're going to be attacking what would have been the stand where their supporters would have actually sat. That would have been the cricket field stand. Chris Wood is now on. Presumably, I think, is it for Ashley Barnes? I'm not quite sure, but Sean Dyche feels it's necessary to make the change at the moment. And we've got one or two things at the moment, but I'm sure it's for Ashley Barnes, but I might be wrong. I'll have to check that one out, but certainly Chris Wood has come on for the second half. We'll get that substitution confirmed, of course. It's going to be Ashley Westwood to get us underway. We'll get that sub confirmed in a few moments for you, but it's going to be Burnley to get us underway. No changes for Manchester City as far as I can see. So it's over, we're back underway. So it's Burnley 0, Manchester City 1, but Chris Wood is now on. And as I say, we'll get that sub confirmed for you in just a second or two. Let's see. I think it's Matty Vidra who's gone off. Looking around at the players, I think Matty Vidra has gone off and Chris Wood has replaced Mattia Vidra. So it looks as if it's Wood and Barnes, the first choice strike force usually up front. Of course, there's no Jay Rodriguez and no Jack Cork and no couple of other players. So Ashley Barnes has restarted the game. So it's Barnes and Wood up front. So Vidra has been substituted. We'll run through the teams for you in just a second. This is Charlie Taylor for the Clarets. 50 seconds into the second half. I thought it was Vidra. I looked out towards the pitch and I didn't see a blonde. I didn't see the blonde figure of Matty Vidra. So it's obvious that Chris Wood has come on for him. So let me just run through the Burnley side with Peacock Farrell in goal. Lilton, Long, Tarkowski and Taylor the back four, and then it's McNeil on the right with Brownhill, Westwood in the middle and Peters on the left. Hasn't really performed well enough again tonight, and then it's Wood who's replaced Vidra, so Vidra is now off. We've got Merrick Report there down on the ground. Chris Wood again the man involved, and Ashley Barnes completing the lineup. On the bench, Norris, Bardsley, Dunn, Benson, Goodrich and Glennon. There's a little bit of a collision there. There was nothing in it there between Wood and Laporte, both feeling the effects, although Laporte feeling his leg. I wonder if he's landed awkwardly on that. And whilst the City players down, let me just run through the City team as it stands at the moment. Stephan is the goalkeeper, back up to Edison. Walker, Fernandinho, Laporte and Mendy. Laporte still injured. De Bruyne, Rodri, Sterling, Mahrez, Torres and Palmer on the bench. Edison, Ake, who could be coming on at this point for Laporte, but he's on the bench at the moment. So too is Bernardo Silva. So too is Phil Foden. Delap, Boyle and Harwood Bellis. The referee Andy Madley of Huddersfield. And it looks like Nathan Ake could well be coming on in a bit. Judging by what the City bench are doing at the moment. Laporte is going to continue. City's medical staff working the Oracle again. So just in case you joined us late, Raheem Sterling scoring the only goal of the game after 35 minutes. It's been a bit difficult really for Burnley this season. No wins in the league. Bottom three of the Premier League as things stand. It hasn't been a It hasn't been a great start to the season as the ball comes forward, but Burnley looking to be the first side in 3.5 years to beat Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. And hopefully Sean Dyche has never got past the last 16 in his time at Burnley in this competition. In fact, he's never got past the last 16 of any competition, because the furthest he got in the FA Cup, non-league Lincoln knocked us out in 2017. And here comes Manchester City now. Big chance here. The ball played back. A chance here for Sterling. And he stuck it in the back of the net. 2-0 to Manchester City. And once again, Burnley caught out down the right-hand side. Raheem Sterling, who really should have had a hat-trick by now in complete control, complete truth, has just scored a second goal. Sloppy play, really, from Burnley, giving the ball away. And then it was easy then. Ball played back by Torres. And maybe the man on the line should have done a lot better there. Again, awful defending. Where was Tarkowski when all that was happening? That was dreadful Claret's defending, but then again, it was easy. Why wasn't Taylor closing his man down? That was awful Burnley defending. I feel for Peacock Farrell a little bit, because he doesn't deserve two put past him. And well, Burnley, who should have been 2-up at half time, really, when they got those penalties, well, they're going to be turning points in the game for us there. It's disgraceful, really, when City get away with blue murder, go 2 goals clear. Not that I'm begrudging them a 2-0 lead, because they've earned that lead, but there have been some questionable refereeing against Burnley. When you don't get two penalty decisions, then I think it's a complete joke, and Andy Madley should quit as a referee, because that is a disgrace. But there you go. What do I know? But it's Burnley 0, Manchester City 2. It's 0-0 down at the Amex. Let me just quickly keep you up to date. We are going to bring you score flashes from the 7:45 games, first half score flashes, before we leave you later on. 2-0 to Manchester City if you've just joined us. Sterling's got both the goals. Full match commentary of this game. Burnley's next match is against Newcastle on Saturday night. Again, another 8 o'clock start for the Clarets. Why can't they start at 3 o'clock like most people? I don't know. Anyway, well, that's what television does. Dictates now. So we'll just check. We'll check through the scores in a second, because Sterling has made his way to the area. Torres is inside the box, tries to take on Kevin Long, and Kevin Long stands his ground very, very well indeed. And Burnley get the goal kick. 2-0 to Manchester City. And well, for a free referee's had a disgraceful game, and Matt Lawton is down on a heap as well. I have to say, the referee has been a joke all night. This is what happened again. That's a foul. De Bruyne has hit him. De Bruyne has hit him, as far as I'm concerned. And Burnley could do without all this nonsense. I think Kevin De Bruyne is lucky not to have been booked, quite frankly. It's been a joke. Everton have just had a goal disallowed for offside. Well, it's not just the referee. I think I just think that referees need to be more transparent and more fairer towards two teams. I just think, I mean, why was Charlie Taylor not closing down there? It gave Sterling a 3-shot at goal. This was rank defending from Burnley, and there's no doubt about it. Why give them that satisfaction? It's just very disappointed in that respect. Raheem Sterling, I mean, City don't deserve it. The way they've got away with 2 key penalty decisions is a disgrace. And De Bruyne could have easily been sent off for hitting Matt Lawton. It's just, I think the referee needs to, I think Sean Dyche needs to have serious words with the referee, I think, after this. I think the whole thing is I think the referee tonight has been a shambles. And I think, you know, I keep saying it now, referee, he should not be allowed to referee a top fixture like that again. Why do the EFL consistently put out third-rate referees like this fella? I do not know. Anyway, Peacock Farrell with a goal kick for Burnley, who trail 2-0. rather harshly in my opinion. It should be a 2-all. Should be at least 2-all because we could have had 2 penalties. Ball played back to Peacock Farrell. Peacock Farrell turns, gets his kick away. Wood wins the next one. Now Wood touching it on there, but oh dear me, got right under Westwood's foot there. And we've given the ball away again, the Clarets, and now an opportunity for City to start to move forward again, but they go backwards this time. I mean, a good result for Pep Guardiola, but he's had a lot of help from the referee, I have to say. It's been really, really disappointing, and meanwhile it's still 0-0 in the game, I think, between Brighton and Manchester United. Everton winning 1-0 as City go forward looking for third. Kyle Walker chips the ball in from the far side, comes to Mendy on the on the far side. It was Walker's cross from the near side, I should say. 10 minutes gone in the second half. You'll have your opportunity to choose man of the match in just a minute or two. Burnley 0, Manchester City 2 in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup competition. The next round doesn't take place. Tottenham are already through. Newcastle already through. City look like joining them. Everton 1 up as well at home to West Ham. It's Burnley get a throw in. Now they could do with one now. Really make it a real grandstand finish here at the turf. Sean Dyche will be furious with the referee. I think if them 2 penalties are given, then it's a completely different ball game as far as I'm concerned. The stats will say City deserve to be in front, but also the cameras will say Burnley should have had 2 penalties, and that's the gist of the whole thing thus far. As Brownhill has possession. Brownhill plays the ball back. It's been very difficult for Burnley this season. 13 key players, 5 to 7 key players out at the start. No real incomings other than Norris, the goalkeeper, and Dale Stevens. It's been such a disappointing window, but Burnley will not give in. Sean Dyche never gives in, but that's a poor ball by Brownhill. Couldn't get or rather Westwood couldn't get away, and now a chance for Sterling to come at the Burnley defence once again. Sterling's through, but he's well policed. Now the ball comes out to Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez in the penalty area, but the attempt to cross was blocked away. Good defending that from the Clarets. Mahrez again gets possession for City. 2-0 up, remember. Walker now wins possession, and City keeping the ball well, and Burnley really not being ambitious enough to try and defend from the front and really force City into an elementary mistake or two. Stefan gets it forward. Hardly really been tested, mind you. It should have been tested twice from a penalty spot, but the referee declined for whatever reason to not give the penalty, which I think he should have done. But there you go. That's football for you. That's referees for you. And I think oh, that's a foul. That's a foul. It's a foul on Barnes. Should be in the book there for me, Laporte. Tackle from behind that. Tackle from behind that. That's a silly foul. That should be a booking. Should be a bookable offence. What a disgraceful decision that is. Not to book him, but Burnley have a free kick. Taking short now then. What can McNeil do on that right hand side? Gets the cross in. Oh, that's well, I don't know what that header was. Oh, there still might be a chance here now. McNeil should have crossed it then. It's right, McNeil with a awful ball which just about found Lawton. Now Peters. And Peters going the negative route as usual. Taylor hoists that in there towards the penalty area. Barnes goes in. And frustration again for the Clarets. As the ball's kicked long, and now Sterling's in again. Oh, good covering. Good covering inside the area from Charlie Taylor. That's how you defend, Eric Peters. That's how you defend. And Burnley, in fact, win a free kick as well. Well, we looked all the while that City were going to make it 3. There was a flag up, in fact, for an offside decision, I think, against Riyad Mahrez. Burnley haven't got time to get it forward. There's a 32 minutes plus stoppage time to go, and still it remains 2-0. Here comes the free kick. Burnley should have had 2 clear-cut penalties for me. City have scored twice through Raheem Sterling. The ball knocked forward once again, and once again it's cleared away. And here's an opportunity now for Peters, who's just gone to the right hand side. Brownhill lifts the ball in. Woody's onside, so too is Barnes. And again, Ashley Barnes. He's had a couple of half-hearted attempts at goal. Of course, he's getting his way back after fitness. Up to fitness after an injury. Maybe it would have been better than. I think Vedra should have stayed on, and I think Wood should have replaced Barnes. But at the moment it's still 2-0 to Manchester City, but Burnley should have had 2 penalties, and I think the referee has been rather questionable about that. 65-minute mark, I would invite you for the last 25 minutes of the game to vote for the JB Man of the Match, JB Sports Man of the Match award. All you've got to do is select the name of the player and then hashtag it with hashtag JBMLTM, please, for the vote to count. No hashtag, vote doesn't count. 2-0 to Manchester City. Burnley should have had 2 penalties, and at the moment it's not looking good for the Clarets. Yet no Premier League win in the bottom 3 of the Premier League, and really devoid of any real ideas. They need incomings in the window, I feel, to have a chance of doing something here. They've never won this competition. The furthest they've ever gone in the Carabao Cup was the semi-finals. 1969 was their first appearance, and in 1983, and they lost to Liverpool, then rampant Liverpool in the semi-finals. I think they won. I think it was 4-1 to Liverpool on aggregate. They won 3-0 at Anfield and a 1-1 draw down at the Turf, here at the Turf. And then in 2009, when they were robbed of a place in the final against Manchester United, they were 4-1 down going back to the Turf, and Jay Rodriguez was in that side, Burnley's line-up. He scored the 3rd goal coming on as a substitute that night, after Blake and McCann had scored for the Clarets. And Defoe and Pavlyuchenko broke a lot of hearts, including this commentator's hearts that night. And it was one of the biggest robberies of all time from Tottenham. They did not deserve to go through that night, and the efforts are still appreciated that night in Burnley to this day. Meanwhile, there's a chance for number 3 for City. They go around the goalkeeper. This could be trouble. This could be big trouble for the Clarets. Oh, shot was kicked off the line. I think it might have been Torres, in fact, with the shot. Now Burnley are coming forward. Right, they've got to get their brain to get here. The next goal is going to be important, and from a game point of view, Burnley will want to get it. They've already used one substitute. They've got left Norris, Bardsley, Jimmy Dunn, Josh Benson, Mace Goodridge, and Anthony Glennon. It's still 2-0 to Manchester City. Raheem Sterling with both the goals, but Burnley should have had 2 clear penalties for foul on McNeil at the end of the first half, and then before that a clear foul on Charlie Taylor in the penalty area. It hasn't been the Clarets evening, that's for sure. Don't forget Trevor's Sports Match of the Day. Russ will be doing the commentary on Leeds against Manchester City. Trevor's got Manchester United, and Wood can't take it out from under his feet. And Burnley have had real good half chances and just haven't, for one reason or another, took the chances on offer. Still remains 2-0. Here comes Dwight McNeil. McNeil now. Can he work the oracle here for Burnley? Good back heel to Taylor. Now then, Taylor will gamble and come marauding forward. Finds Westwood. Westwood chips it into the area. Barnes takes it down and gets his shot away, right-footed. And just misses the target. Just hits it over the crossbar. Fearsome shot. Didn't test Stefan. He'll be disappointed about that. Ball was chipped in there. Took it down on the chest. It was a good effort, but it didn't test the goalkeeper. Goal kick to Manchester City, who are preparing to bring on Bernardo Silva, who's conned Burnley with some of his cheating for a couple of times. Kevin De Bruyne is going to come on. Bernardo is going to come on. He has cheated against Burnley before, and he's dived a couple of times in the past to win Burnley penalties, to win City penalties against Burnley. Albeit at the Etihad Stadium in the past. He dived a couple of times when City were beat Burnley 4-1 in a FA Cup tie 2 years ago. But for some reason we keep drawing Manchester City in these cup competitions, and it's a frustration. Every single year we get Manchester City in every cup competition, while the odds on us getting Manchester City again this year. It's at the moment it's still 2-0, and it's really has been. The referee, I have to say, is in a complete joke. I think the referee's performance has to be looked at. I think from his performance, I think the failure to give Burnley 2 clear penalties is there for all to see. And when you watch the highlights back on the television later, I think Burnley may have a grievance here. But Sterling comes charging forward. There might be a chance for a third. There is. It's into the corner. It's 3-0, and it's Torres who's got the third one. And with 25 minutes to go, it's 3-0 Manchester City. And Burnley, over harshly I feel, are going out of the Carabao Cup. It's disappointing, really. I think he was offside as that ball was played, but again, in turn of this ridiculous refereeing, they've been allowed to go on. 3-0 it is. Could Kevin Long have done better? I think he could have done. No chance Peacock Farrell. And City do not deserve to be 3 up. There's no doubt about that. They do not deserve it. Burnley, on another day, could have had 3 themselves. They should have had 2 clear penalties. And the case will be argued. I think the referees decided this game. There's no doubt about it in the first half. So City going through. And really, Burnley should be annoyed with themselves, really. And I think the referee should look at his performance, because it's not good enough. Harwood Bellis is going to come on for Manchester City, or 3 up, but barely deserve it, because they've been helped by some shoddy refereeing from referee Madley. How can he not give not 1 but 2 clear penalties? And there's not much point Burnley putting on any substitutes. We're out the cup anyway. What's the point? Burnley are 3-0 down. Here's Charlie Taylor. Taylor goes back. 3 defeats in 3 matches for Burnley. Their only actual victory after 90 minutes has been Millwall last week. At least Russ is giving us a bit of consolation. Peacock Farrell. At least he's giving us a little bit to smile about. Russ, of course, a former Leeds United. Russ, as we know, he was very good at Leeds United, a team that Russ, of course, supports. But I think the referee must be blamed for what's gone on tonight. I think he's had a bearing on the game. I'm not trying to take the gloss off of Manchester City victory here, but I mean, if those 2 penalties are given, or at least one of those 2 are given, has a different complexion to the game. I think Andy Madley will be blamed for what's gone on here tonight. So at the moment, Newcastle are through. Burnley look as if they're going out. Brighton and Man United are still goalless. Everton winning against West Ham. And at the moment, Burnley are 3-0 down, and I think it's been an unfair, a harsh scoreline on the Clarets. I think they've given it their all tonight. But I think if you get a dodgy bent referee like Andy Madley, it's going to end up being that way. But a good tackle there from Kevin Long, got his foot in. Or Robert James Tarkowski. I have to say 2 positives really to take from this. The fact that Barnes and Tarkowski are back playing in the first 11 is a huge bonus really for Burnley going forward in the league. Got a tough match up at Newcastle on Saturday night, and we have to look forward to that now, and I think we have to get the first 3 points of the season up there. It's really all about the league really, but I am very disappointed with some of the referee decisions tonight. I think the referee has had a shoddy match from this commentator's point of view. I don't think there's much doubt about that. And well, it is bitterly disappointing. And there you go. Ashley Barnes is going off. Well, Burnley are showing no ambition at all. Josh Benson's going to come on, and that's no disrespect to the young kid, but if you're going to save a little bit of face, I want us to go down fighting, and bringing the youngsters on is just not acceptable. 3-0 down against Manchester City. It's almost as if Sean Dyche has said, right, let's give up on this, and that's not, but he's not good enough. And we're putting our faith in this squad, and it goes back to the chairman, it goes back to Mike Garlick. I think his chairmanship this summer has been an absolute joke, and this turmoil at the club is going to continue. This is a devastating defeat. I know it's a cup tie and there was nothing on it in league terms, but I would have liked us to have got to the last 8, and who knows, gone a bit further in this competition. It is bitterly disappointing, and I think it's alright if City have deserved it over the piece and they haven't been helped by some iffy refereeing, then I would have said fair play, but I can't really say that because I think Burnley should have had 2 penalties, and that has changed, I'm afraid, the course of the game. That should be a free kick to Burnley. It is nothing away from Raheem Sterling, but I'm afraid those 2 decisions in the first half from the referee have just been jokes, and it's hard to not criticise the referee's performance at the turf tonight. I think, well, he's a Yorkshireman, he won't give anything like that, will he? You know, it's just a joke, but hey, what do we know, eh? And I still think that the authorities should make the referees come out and explain why they give decisions like that to the media, because we need to know why, and they don't give it. But Burnley have been on at least 2 by the end of 2, on the end of 2 very rank and terrible refereeing decisions tonight. Should have had 2 penalties. The ball hooked in there, and it's not. Again, Peters made no attempt to get in the box. Why do we pay that guy a living wage? He's not good enough. He's clearly not good enough, and why do we keep putting him in the team? He's only in there on default. And here goes Sterling now through the middle. Burnley now having to commit playing forward, and Peacock Farrell, to his magnificent credit, makes a magnificent save one-on-one with Raheem Sterling. And if there's one thing that Burnley would love to do, is deny Raheem Sterling a hat-trick tonight. He should have had 4 or 5 in fairness to him, but it's the fact that they've needed a bit of help from the referee that's soured it for me, really, because the referees destroyed the match as far as a spectacle is concerned. He was just onside, in fact, as the ball was played, Raheem Sterling. But if those decisions are given, it's you know, we're in for a grandstand finish, and we wouldn't be seeing Burnley 3-0 down in a game that they've put a lot of effort in fairness, but are getting nothing out of it at the moment. But you never know, they can still get 3 goals. I honestly think that there are some. I mean, I just want to go political for a second. I know I'm not a political channel, but I think the announcements from Boris Johnson today have been nothing short of a joke. I think they're going on false facts and information, and as soon as we get supporters back in football grounds, the better. Because Burnley, let's face it, without the 12th man, are just not performing to their maximum at the moment. I know it's been a tough turnaround, but I do think there's certain things going on with that COVID that I think the government aren't telling us. Anyway, here's Charlie Taylor, played into the penalty area, but nothing doing again for Burnley. Now then, can Burnley just, if they're going to go down Burnley, why don't you go down fighting? Peacock Farrell is leading man of the match. You can still get your votes in if you want. Never the player please, whether it's a Burnley player or a Manchester City player, whoever gets the votes naturally will win. 18 minutes to play, and it's City going charging forward once again. As I said, I don't want to take the gloss off City's victory tonight if it is to be that way, but I honestly think that the referees made some very horrible decisions. If the referee gives those penalties, then it's a completely different story. Scott McTominay has just scored for Manchester United in the rematch at Brighton. Remember that was a game that had that penalty shout at the end. Nathan Ake's just come on. I don't know who's replaced, but I'm sure we'll find out in just a second. If Ross can keep me updated on that one. I'm just looking for other scores. There's City comes charging through again. Oh, and it was almost a 4th one. And what happened was Westwood got it off the line, came off the goalkeeper Peacock Farrell, and it was a poor clearance. In fact, I think it was from Kevin Long, who's had a ridiculously poor game tonight. I think we need Ben Mee back in the side because Kevin Long is not good enough. And as soon as we get Ben Mee back in the team, the better as far as I'm concerned. It's a corner kick to City, who are 3-0 up and seemingly coasting through now to the quarterfinals. But as I say it once, I'll say it again. If the penalty is given, one of those 2 penalties are given, then it's not a problem. But it was Rodri that was off for Nathan Ake, who I still think is a very good defender. City 3-0 up, but I think in terms they've been helped. They didn't need the referee's help tonight really, but referee helped him anyway because he was being mighty generous. If one of those 2 penalties are given, then it's a different game. Also, if you're a Burnley fan like I am, I'm fed up with the sight of drawing Manchester City every year in cup competitions. We always seem to get them every single year, League or FA Cup, and it's just it just becomes repetitively annoying. It's almost as if the gods aren't smiling on us as Peacock Farrell kicks away 3/4 of the way down the field. It's been a dreadful night for the Clarets. Still no win. That's surely got to be a yellow card there. That was a nasty, horrible challenge there by Raheem Sterling. He should be in the book for that. That was an awful tackle by the England man. Should be in the book for me. How is he not in the book? Oh, yes, Andy Manley, the first big decision you've got correct. Well done. You've actually got something right. Well done to you. Sterling deserves to be booked. That's a disgraceful tackle, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, hopefully Matt Lawton's going to be okay. This doesn't look too good, and when Sean Dyche gets 2 players back, he's probably going to lose 1 now. Everton 1, West Ham 0 is a half-time score. Also is Brighton 0, Man United 1. Just to remind you, Trevor Sports tomorrow night as well, and well, our replays aren't moving. On another day, he could have seen red for that. That was a dangerous tackle. I mean, that could do serious damage to Matt Lawton. And it may well be that Phil Bardsley may have to come on here. Burnley could have done without this. This is an horrible tackle. And the goal scorer, well, I think he should have been sent off, Raheem Sterling. Take nothing away from City tonight, but I think they've been lucky with 2 or 3 key refereeing decisions. I think Raheem Sterling should have been sent off just now. Not a good night at all. Not a good night at all. 13 minutes to play. 3-0 to Manchester City, and Raheem Sterling should be... You know what? I think he should be ashamed of himself. It's a red card, I think. Sean Dyche must be thinking. I mean, the referee's been a joke, and it looks like Phil Bardsley will have to come on, play out the next 13 minutes. But you know, Newcastle on Saturday rather. It's oh dear, just what we didn't want. It's almost as if the whole world's against Burnley at the moment. The gods aren't smiling on us. The chairman's doing nothing about it to try and strengthen the side. It's unhappy times here at the turf. And there'll be still more questions asked, I think, about the chairmanship of Mike Garlick. Burnley do have a free kick, however. The ball played into the penalty area, and it goes again. Peters trying the shot. It was a bit of a wayward shot, and then it took a couple of bounces. He's had a poor game again, Eric Peters. It has to be said. There's the opportunity. There we are. Missed kick. Nothing's coming off for Burnley tonight, it has to be said. And it is bitterly disappointing because one of those two penalties, as I say, is given. Games are completely different. What you call it, kettle of fish, if you like. But at the moment, it's not going Burnley's way thus far, and I think there'll be serious questions asked of the chairmanship of Mike Garlick. You know, tactically, and the referee, I think there has to be questions asked of him now. But it has been a bitterly disappointing night for everybody. As the ball is played in towards Chris Wood, on towards Dwight McNeil. Could Burnley try and get themselves back into it? Good ball in there, but then Wood. That's the part of his game that really lets him down. His miscontrol. He's miscontrolled 2 or 3 opportunities like that, and Burnley could have easily got goals from those. And City get a cheap, very cheap corner conceded by Josh Brownhill, and it's as I say, the referee's a joke, and I think as soon as Andy Madley's not a FIFA approved, he's a FIFA approved referee on tonight's performance, then I'm Prince Charles, quite frankly. He's been a joke. Burnley 0, Manchester City 3 if you just joined us. Raheem Sterling with 2, Torres with another one. Burnley haven't defended at all well on the 3 goals. That must be said. But neither has the referee. You've got 3 or 4 FIFA approved officials at the ground tonight, and none of them have been up to FIFA standards. I expect better officials than the ones that we've got tonight, and I don't think the EFL were wise in selecting a Yorkshireman to take charge of this match. But never mind. Anyway, still 3-0 to Manchester City. The Clarets have battled well. You know, if Burnley get one of those 2 penalties, it's a totally different game as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying Sterling deserves anything. You can still vote for your man in the match. There's 9 minutes to go. Name of your player plus the hashtag JBMLTM. Spurs already through last night after a dramatic penalty shootout against Chelsea. They were joined by Newcastle early tonight after they beating Newport at Rodney Parade on penalties after a 1-1 draw. But City are going through. Everton are winning, and Manchester United are winning at half time. So it's the day for the big clubs today. No foul there, quite rightly not given. I think Torres was trying to con the ref a little bit there, and for once he wasn't buying any of it. But I think he's been consistently poor, Mr. Madley, the referee. And the ball played out to Charlie Taylor. Taylor now, he needs to really, can Burnley have a good last 9 minutes and just give themselves a bit of pride maybe. And that's a good header. That's better. That's much better. Dwight McNeil with a header from the penalty spot. Well saved by Stefan. That's what I wanted to see more of from Burnley tonight. Good cross. Good header from McNeil. But straight into the goalkeeper's arms. But better attack-minded play that from the Clarets. Looked a lot better. And of course we won't be playing Manchester City every week, I know that, but if it sends a message out to Mike Garlick now, they need another 2 or 3 bodies, I think, in the window, and then we might have a decent enough squad, get the injured players back as soon as possible, and see what goes from here. But it's not been a great night for Burnley as Sterling chips the ball forward. That's going to run out of play, and a goal kick to Burnley rather. Still the man of the match award being won for us by Mary Peacock Farrell. I don't really want to get involved, Ryan. I am here broadcasting, so let's just let's just not. Well, if you're going to text me after I come off the air. Still 3-0 to Manchester City. No one's trying to ignore you, Ray, but I am in the middle of trying to do a commentary, and it's very off-putting as well. So please try and keep your comments on here. Well, I've got 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go, as Peters tries to get on the end of it. He's had a poor match, Eric Peters. I think he needs looking at, really, as far as the referees as his performances are concerned. He was at fault for the defeat at Leicester. He's not had a good match thus far. I think he's slowed progress down on the left hand side. Here's Josh Spencer, now the substitute. Well, they say there's a motto here. As Peters charges forward, cross is not a good one. It's been on the wayward side. McNeil's kept it alive, to his credit. Here's a chance for Burnley. Shot comes in. They appeal, handball, and no, penalty again. This referee is becoming an exact joke of a referee. I think his performance needs scrutinising one way or the other. This is Raheem Sterling. Good tackle that from Tarkowski. But I think Burnley should have had a third spot potential there. 3 penalties now turned down for Burnley. It's becoming a complete and utter joke. 5 minutes to play. Burnley 0, Manchester City 3. But I'm afraid the referee has been poor, to say the least. Burnley should have had not 1, not 2, but 3 clear penalties. This referee has turned into a joke. I think he's been the difference between the two teams, as far as I'm concerned. But take nothing away from Manchester City, but I know they're a fine team, but they don't need a referee every time. Here's Torres into the penalty area. Kevin Long has not had his best game. They're talking about heads, minds and lungs. They haven't. Some of the Burnley players haven't used that mantra tonight. And our last 16 jinx, Burnley's last 16 jinx under Sean Dyche, has struck again. Could never reach at least any quarter-finals of the major cup competitions, which I think is a joke for an established Premier League club. We should be going in there with an opportunity of winning these things, but what do I know? 3-0 to the Claret. 3-0. I wish it was 3-0 to the Claret. It's 3-0 to Manchester City, and we got about 4 minutes of the game left, and it has been a horrible night for Burnley as regards this game. It's they keep possession now, City. It's almost as if it's a training ground game, and I think Burnley's attitude really hasn't done them any favours. Having said that, though, they should have had 2 catch time penalties, maybe a third one a few moments ago. Yeah, maybe City Spurs final. Could well be. But it could have been almost all different if the referee had been on the ball in the first half, when Burnley should have had not 1 but 2 clear penalties for pushes. First on Charlie Taylor and then on Dwight McNeil respectively. But it's ifs, buts and maybes now, I'm afraid. But Burnley's next objective really is to get a couple of new bodies in before the window, get players back from suspension and injury, and then take on Newcastle. Our next live match, I can confirm, is a Sunday night. It's going to be at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock kickoff. We're at Villa Park, Birmingham for Aston Villa rather, against Liverpool. We're going to get our first look at the current champions of the Premier League, and it's a game I am absolutely looking forward to watching as well. Here's Charlie Taylor for Burnley going down the left-hand channel. We'll have a Saturday game for you, but we'll get them confirmed as we go along. And thank you, Trevor. Grand Prix as well, 9 o'clock, and of course don't forget his supplementary match today. Russ and Trevor will be commentating for your listening pleasure, and I believe that You won't want to miss Trevor's match, the main game between Manchester United and Tottenham. Apparently it's his best commentary to date, so he tells me. In 24 hours time you will find out how good a commentary it really is, and I'm sure it will be top notch, as it always is with Trevor's. I work with him on the cricket, and he's an absolute, in tandem with him on the cricket, and he's great to watch. He's great to commentate alongside. Anyway, here's Nathan Aki for Manchester City. There's about a couple of minutes to go before the break, and we're gonna just we're gonna have a bit of a low-key ending. But just to remind you, last night it was drama at White Hart Lane, or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for now, as things stand, between Spurs and Chelsea. It went to penalties. Mason Mount missing the final penalty, which costs Chelsea a place in the last 16, or in the last 8, sorry. Earlier today, Newcastle were ranked close by Newport County, who led 1-0 for so long. But here's a chance now for Eric Peters inside the penalty area. Peters, was he pulled? And that's another penalty, possible penalty not given again. They have actually been coming together, in fairness. I think Peters trying to do too much. Should have tried to pull the trigger a bit earlier than he did. But a chance of a consolation, I begging. Meanwhile, in the games that kicked off at 7:45, it's currently 1-0 to Everton over West Ham. We're into stoppage time at the end. We don't know how long it's going to be until we get Mike Dean. And yes, well done, referee. Bernardo in the book. Talking out of turn. I think he deserves that. Burnley, though, I've got a lot to think about now from tonight until Saturday when they play Newcastle. Hopefully they'll get still talking Harry Wilson. There's 2 added minutes, so at least Burnley will be put out of misery sooner rather than later. Just to remind you that Manchester United are winning at Brighton. They were half-time scores, but they've just kicked off a few moments ago. We started the second half, and Everton were winning 1-0 against West Ham. And I might just settle back and watch Everton against West Ham after I come off the air in about 5 minutes from now. Hopefully we'll get a view from Sean Dash maybe before the end of the night. Who knows? But anyway, here come Manchester City looking to try and finish it in style. 45 seconds of stoppage time. Man of the match goes to Peacock Farrell with just the 1 vote. So a little bit of consolation for Burnley. He had a super first half in that Burnley goal. Hasn't really put a foot wrong, and Burnley deserves to be on the losing side tonight. He's played so much. It was very, very good. It's A4. Trevor, you had me going there for a minute. I thought I got that wrong then. I was going to check BBC then, just to make sure I was seeing things. Oh, dear me. 15 seconds of stoppage time to go. It's been a horrible night again for Burnley. We've covered them 3 times in about a week and a half. 3 consecutive defeats on our channel. Maybe we need to stay away from them on Saturday night up at Newcastle, because maybe they'll get a win then. But it's been a chasing night for Burnley. Should have had at least a couple, maybe not 3 penalties in the first half. Well, certainly 1 in the second, 2 in the first half for clear pushes. 2 goals for Raheem Sterling. Either side of the break puts City in command. And then, that's a nice touch actually from Pep Guardiola, consoling Matt Lawton. But I'll tell you what though, any positives to come out of it, that Tarkowski and Barnes have come through the game okay. Peacock Farrell did well. So there are 1 or 2 positives for Burnley to take out of it, despite crashing out tonight by 3-0. But I think the referee, when he looks back at the game, will not look back, I think, with any great fondness whatsoever, because I think his decisions may have cost Burnley a potential place in the last 8. But on the flip side, it means now Burnley now for the rest of the first half of the season, before the FA Cup comes into being in early January, of course, because FA Cup Fair Round Day always traditionally takes place in the first week of January. It means that Burnley now can concentrate on the least fixtures and maybe having a little bit of time away, because they played Wednesday, Saturday now for the last 2 to 3 weeks in a row. So once the Newcastle game, they'll have a couple of weeks break, of course, for England, of course, and we'll have England in the international break as well. These are the statistics. I mean, on stats alone, City do deserve to win it. But then again, if Burnley had got 2 penalties, might have been a different tale, maybe. Burnley didn't pick up a single booking. They only conceded 3 fouls, which is not like them at all. City conceded the most fouls there, 10. Burnley were caught offside 3 times, and City won. But that's it was 3-1 in offsides to Burnley, by the way. Not that it'll get us through to the next round, Trevor. But there were no red cards. It wasn't a dirty match by any means, and but there was a huge blow towards the end. Not only in terms of the result, but Matt Lawton went off with after an horrible tackle, really, from Raheem Sterling, which on another day could have given him a red card. But at the end of it all, it's turned out Manchester City's way again. But I do honestly think if we get one of those 2 penalties, Burnley, then I think it's a completely different story in terms of the result. But it's hard to be too critical. It was always going to be a tough ask against City, and from a personal point of view, as a Burnley fan, I am sick to the back of the stomach drawing Manchester City every single year in cup tie football. It seems like we never get a decent draw each and every time, but we've done okay this year. We've had a decent run to the last 16. It would have been nice to have continued it tonight, getting forward to our first quarter-final. Robert Snodgrass has just equalised for West Ham a minute into the second half, so that's 1 apiece. Tomorrow there's a big. Tomorrow's going to be a tight one. So it's 1-1 at Goodison. It's 1-0 to Manchester United at Amex. Let's check tomorrow's fixtures, because there's a couple of really tasty fixtures there in the Carabao tomorrow evening. Let's go through the fixture list for you as we speak to you here. Some pretty good ties here tomorrow, I have to say. Brentford Fulham, that's the West London derby. That might be something Trevor might be interested in tomorrow evening. He likes he spends a lot of time in the old West London area, doesn't he, Trevor? That's tomorrow evening, and then Aston Villa Stoke at 7 o'clock, and then at 7:45 Liverpool against Arsenal is the key game. But we won't be covering any of that. Our next football will possibly be Saturday, and then we'll certainly be at Villa Park on Sunday. Treble, thank you for joining me anyway towards the end. It's been good to have you with us alongside Russ and Mike and all that before us. Also a few new faces as well. Don't forget Trevor's channel tomorrow, match of the day. Really two cracking matches that Trevor and Russ described for you. It's a programme I guarantee you will not want to miss. And I'm looking forward to the description that Trevor Davis is going to do of the Man United game. I think it's going to be the most epicest Trevor Davis commentary I think I'm going to listen to. I think I've got a feeling in my water. Anyway, thank you very much for everyone that's tuned in. It's not been it's been another live Burnley match has ended in the same outcome, another defeat. But the good thing about it is Burnley can now concentrate on the league and maybe get some players back and really just have a go at trying to improve the league position, and then maybe have a go at the FA Cup in January. Hope you've enjoyed it. Should have had 2 penalties, maybe. Referee was a complete disgrace, but City with 2 goals from Raheem Sterling and 1 from Torres, Sin City home. They go through to the last 16. Manchester United are winning at Brighton as we speak, and it's 1-1 at Goodison Park. That's where I'm going to go and watch now. That's my next port of call. I'm going to go and watch that now whilst I'm downtiming, and then join us all tomorrow evening on Trevor's channel for Russ and Trevor's undoubted amazing commentary. I can't wait for Trevor Davis and Trevor Glover to produce the best in Trevor Sports commentary. Thank you very much for watching. See you all on Saturday for the next JB Sports commentary action. Until then, take care and have a very good evening. Take care. Good night.